Hello, good morning. So, I actually had started this earlier, didn't quite go as I had expected. Namely, little one was around, didn't exactly want to stop messing with things. Let's just say teething is a hell of a thing. Any darn ways. They started early today, so first off, I just wanted to show off this right here. Yeah, this is apparently a thing that exists. So, yeah, apparently it makes you permanently immune to poison or disease, but then you end up not being able to use stuff very well. But, yeah, it seems like some stuff changed recently so that you can just barely use some certain things. Also, I guess it doesn't give you the option of what you want to be immune to. You just get immune to it. Anyway, yeah, that was just a weird kind of Shadowrun-like thing there. Alright, there is a joke of an idea that came up a little while ago, which was essentially a crazy guy with a knife run. So what I did, and this is already at floor 3, so I apologize, just didn't want to redo this all again, because I got really good drops when I was doing this the first time. So, yeah, basically threw away or destroyed everything that was not one of the knives. Essentially, yeah, I came down here, there was a mod cabinet over here, I ended up picking up those 3 here. It was like I think it was an ammo crate over here that I got some grenades. Actually, no, that was this one right here. So this room, wait, no. I think the biomod, oh no, biomod was over here. Crate was over here, and then upstairs was the usual stuff. Picked up an ice gem up there, that kind of thing. Point being, the main idea in this run is just to see, you know, how far it would be possible to get with just a knife. Obviously from here everything is just like, you get it as you get it. The usual problems have been run into, namely upon coming down to this floor, if I can pull up the map again, was essentially having problems around here-ish. Pretty much getting swarmed right off the bat and having to deal with a bunch of things, and wasn't great. But it all ended up working out. Wound up getting to the next floor. It was actually right here, so yeah, got blocked off by a bat, almost died to a blue rat thingy. Stuff wasn't too great, but still very possible. And yeah, so if this kind of thing were to exist, it would be nice to have, like, let's say, a junk, just like a pile of junk grenades and a knife. But, whatever. What do we have here? Nothing fun. Right, get rid of this thing so that it stops stunning me. And we get one more shank in there. And time to go. Alright. So obviously resting is going to be a bit more of a thing. Food shortages are dang near inevitable. I should have eaten. Should have eaten that before doing anything, but whatever. Save those grenades for now. Alright, hopefully that hybrid doesn't do anything. There was a mention in one of the patch notes, apparently, of making these guys pick up random items that have fallen on the ground. Sounds pretty fun. But there's one caveat that I would hope to be added to that. Which is that... oh, man. Just everything is coming into this room, apparently. Amazingly fitting music. Man, I love the map that this music takes place in. Not necessarily true. You're gonna end up wasting a lot of food potentially doing that. But what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, so a little caveat to that is it would be nice if there were some items just laying around. Sometimes you're just like little piles of whatever spawned and piled up there. Alright, so we're gonna do this. I was going for a Necrotech build with this guy, but I've gotten very bad drops in terms of the skill ups on that. Alright, where's forging and knives? Unfortunately, his melee is absolute just garbage to the point of being almost unusable, so this knife is very likely going to represent the apex of making stuff dead technology for a while. Despite the fact that his description says that he got pretty good with a pistol and knife, he's barely passable. I'd say. Alright, I think we'll go for the storage room next. Have a knife fight. Wait, I just leveled up. Why is my health so friggin' low? Alright. Take a nap, hopefully not die in the process. It's actually very possible. Oh, and it's 5 now. Dandy. But there's more grenades, so that's acceptable. Can you please make stronger? That didn't exactly work out. Whatever. Moving on, let's go to the storage room. Maybe we'll get something to help cure this friggin' disease. Well, it's certainly... I mean, it's a way to cure a disease permanently. Right. So, current record on that, floor 5. Let's go ahead and give that another go, shall we? Actually, let's... Do I do that on Insane again? No, let's do that on Normal. I'm curious to see how far a normal run will get on that. Alright, so just drop everything. Control get. Give me a knife. One thing that I love is that, yeah, they still stay hotkeyed even after they're dropped. Quality of life stuff, man. Alright, we're gonna invest more heavily into melee this time, I think. Alright, didn't get the early ice gems. There's a rabbit. Shank the rabbit. Rabbit has been shanked. Yeah, so this part may end pretty abruptly. Just basically, I have a few things to get done today, so pretty much as soon as little one wakes up, I'm out of here. Moving right the hell along, though. Yeah, gonna get a level up pretty soon, so I can just run down here. Shank everything. Thing is, if I get a repair thing and I can get knife to like 60, there's potential there. I'm thinking Necrotech because with this guy it would be really good just to have some helpers running around. Like Telekinesis and Necrotech seem like a good combination. Melee and I guess save the other point for now. I was basically taking expensive level ups towards lockpicking last time, but guess we won't do that this time. Alright. Still take another towards Perception, then go towards Might. That's the main reason that I ended up getting killed off there. Didn't get Might going fast enough. Because diseases basically are the engineer's worst nightmare up until they can do something about that. Let's go take an expensive lockpick. And one more towards Telekinesis.
Well done.
Well, ammo crates without a weapon seem to be more likely to be grenades. So this weird challenge is almost self-balancing. Okay. Dang it. Need nade. Give me nade. Actually, I think I can clump that, right? I need a bone thing to clump that. Which realistically, I would have thought I would have gotten by this point.
That went well.
Right, we're gonna ignore the other rooms for the moment.
We need to repair that. Damn thing!
Actually, I'm gonna go back for that other room. Oh, so yeah, cool thing. They came out in a recent patch, in case you missed it. Or, not necessarily the most recent patch, the recent beta. Was a thing to basically change the Mother Egg to only 2 uses, but essentially allow it to have full control over whatever it controls. So you don't have that thing where like a robot shoots at something or doesn't shoot at something, and you're like, okay, I just basically spent my my charge here hoping that thing would save me, and it didn't quite happen. Alright, there we go. Got a second weapon. And safely invest in melee now, I think. Also, can craft this up. Love how the crowbar is somehow helping with this. Like, it's just a bunch of random crap that's mashed together and he's just beating it down with a crowbar. There we are. Let's do that. Now. Dandy. Also good. Knife. Where's melee? Melee. And foraging. Alright. There's potential here. The crowbar is horribly inaccurate, but at least we can practice with it. Granted, I could have done that with fists also, and in fact, fists would be better. In fact, let's do that right now. Punch, 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 punch. This is how exactly how martial arts training works, by the way. You just like punch the air a whole bunch, and later on you punch a guy named Bob. Oh yeah, speaking of punching things harmlessly, so the wife and I have been going, like, ping-ponging between the different, like, DC shows that they made recently. Like, semi-recently. It's been years, but the point being they seemingly took a lot of the lesser-known characters and they're like, let's... Well, with exception of one of them, but they're like, let's go ahead and make shows out of these ones. So apparently they took, like, either alternate versions or unknown versions of a bunch of different timelines or whatever. Bear in mind, I don't know that much about comics and all that. I was kind of vaguely aware of some of the cartoons and stuff, and occasionally I watch some of them on afternoons. So I don't know a lot of the nitty-gritty of the whole thing. But the writing between all three of them is starting to become hilariously cut and paste. Like, almost every single time they're like, you know, I had an issue, if only I had told people, and then like 5 seconds later, like, oh no, you didn't tell me about the thing, so we now have an issue, and then they will reiterate this like 50 times, until finally just like, the fact that everybody knew there was an issue somehow solves the issue. Despite the fact that, you know, all things considered, they haven't actually gotten any additional benefits or whatever else, they're just all okay with each other now. That's funny. And it's not like it's that noticeable at first. I mean, like, right now, we binge-watched, let's see, we're binged through all of Gotham, all of The Flash, all of Arrow, and I think there was some other one that they did too. Although it's a little bit hilarious what they did with all the characters. Like, at least from what little I remember about them, from, you know, the shows growing up and everything. It's like... like, okay, Gotham, for example, is one of them. It's basically about the commissioner guy before he becomes the commissioner guy, and I'm pretty sure originally he wasn't like, well, Rambo? I mean, I'm pretty sure his whole thing was like, I'm gonna, you know, go solve all the problems without doing all the shady crap. His version in that show is just literally just like straight up Rambo. Like going through PTSD stuff, he's going, just like, inexplicably just beating everything all the time, despite the obvious logic to the contrary. It's funny to watch in that context of, like, you know, how exactly for a supposedly peaceful guy How high has this guy's body count gotten? I mean, there's one scene literally where, like, an entire police station or whatever can't deal with some, you know, some group that's going through there. And he just, like, single-handedly comes in and beats everybody, no problem. Like, really? That's his merit? Is being able to hit stuff real good, like, the only merit they're able to write for? But no, it's fun to watch. And yeah, you know, as it goes. I guess it's easy to do when you're mass-producing them on that kind of level. We're talking, like, hundreds of episodes. I guess at some point... well, I mean, they had all the dialogue already pre-written for them, I just... I guess it doesn't always carry over as well as you'd think it would. Although there's one interaction that a lot of shows seem to do that seems to be coming up, like, every few seconds, which is just like... I didn't know a thing. You have taught me lesson X. And so, stuff, and pause. Okay, more stuff on the exact same subject, and so I learned blank. Let's reiterate blank again, and then, like, they go and they win whatever the problem was. It's fun. It's fun like that. More Necrotech. Alright, we're still a good ways from actually getting that to where it needs to be. Actually, let me check that. Yeah, I forgot to mention, Mind Bread is gone now. So, there's fire early on, there's fireball later on. No more Mind Bread! Ooh, Ray's dead? Oh yeah, right. I know what that is. But yeah, it's this right here that I want to get. Although this would be incredibly useful, so... hopefully getting this. 45 is generally the point where all these seem to be useful across the board now. Manifestation seems to be the strongest offensively. Telekinesis seems to be the most, like, practical use of points. I like the rebalance. There's more options, you know, the trees actually make a lot more sense than they did in vanilla. It's more of a tree instead of an obvious, obvious build area to go for. Right. Kinda wish I'd stopped getting sick from this stuff, even though the odds are like 70%. Right. Nice security room you've got over there. That's, not gonna be a place I'm going to. And we've got poison and disease now. You're so generous. I should stress, by the way, this is by no means a recommended challenge run of any description. It's just an idea that I was curious about. Largely based off of The Tourist from NetHack. Alright, please be a cure or something. Cleanser? Not the cleanser. Alright, I'm just dropping points like crazy. I mean, plus side of doing everything melee, they're not really putting out as much noise. But if that security room door were to open like it just did, that would basically mean death. But yeah, no, so it's funny. On that earlier thing I mentioned about those shows there, there's one example in particular I was meaning to bring up, which is, okay, how much does this actually do? I think it's like 3 or 4. 5 to 6. Yeah, right. That didn't help. And, okay, that's the run. Oh well. I guess that pretty much would have been death right there anyway if I walked into that room, so... yeah, I think it's safe to say, you know, people were right about this challenge run being a dumb idea. Oh well, I'll try it again another time. Anyway, see you then.